Hello to everyone that's watching this video on my website at jl2821.wixsite.org. My name is JV, I'll be your host, and today's video will be an intermediate level tutorial on how to do the bench press. While this video will include more advanced tips and tricks, we will still go over the basics, so this video can be helpful in some way to everybody. From beginners to more advanced lifters, this video will hopefully have something for everyone. Anyways, let's get started with these clips. So this first clip is of me stretching. Before we start doing anything, it is always important to remember to stretch. While it is important to be tight while benching, really doing any of the very compound lifts, that can also lead to a higher risk of injury. I'm not exactly sure what stretch this is specifically, but I saw Liu Shaochun, gold medalist weightlifter, do it a while back, and it really helps with stretching out the front delts, which is a primary muscle group used in the bench. This next clip is of me warming up. I'm a huge advocate of warming up. Warming up helps get the blood pumping and reduces the risk of injury, especially when you intend to bench heavy later on. One thing that I would recommend for newer people to do is to set a routine. It will make things easier mentally if you set a routine. For instance, if for one workout you do 135s, 185s, 225s, then try to keep the same routine for the next workout. This is especially important for beginners because it makes the programming side of things much easier. One thing that I like to do when I warm up is to let the bar rest on my chest. I find that it helps quote unquote mark that spot for where you need to put your bench later on. This next clip is of me hitting my top set, or my heaviest set of the day. While we watch, I can go over some of the very basics of benching. Essentially, benching at its most basic form has two motions, three if you count the unrack, but most people don't. You hold the bar, let it down on your chest at a controlled pace, and you press it back up. Benching at its very core is very basic, like I said before. However, it can get really complex and really technical really quickly, and we'll see in the next few clips. This next clip is of me hitting my jump up sets. For this particular video, I only decided to go up to 185 to maintain proper form, but we will go over this video a few times to highlight the technical aspects of the bench. So let me just stop this video right here so we can pause it to analyze the form right now. So when we get down on the bench, we want to make sure that our lats are tucked in, number one. This one, in turn, tuck your elbows in. The reason you want to do this is because you want to maintain you want to be compact and tight, as we mentioned earlier before. Being tight helps with the bench. Having loose elbows will put unnecessary strain on your tendons, joints, and makes it harder to lift heavy weight. Furthermore, notice how the bottom, my legs here, are insanely spread out like a V formation almost. This ensures that I have something called a leg drive. Leg drive is a complex topic that deserves its own video, but essentially it's just converting your leg force into benching power. For most people, spreading their legs wider helps with more leg drive. Because spreading your legs wider helps activate your hips. Also, pay attention to my body placement on the bench. I'm only touching the bench on three areas: my head, my lats, which are tucked in very tight like Superman, and my butt. Noticeably, my lower back is not on the bench. This is called an arch. Good lifters will arch their backs to 1. Lower the range of motion on the bench, 2. Create a parachute-like position where you're able to generate momentum on the hardest part of the lift when you're coming up, and then also 3. Activate the lower back muscles, which would not be possible if they were lying flat on the bench. So lastly, before I play the video again, also notice while all of this is happening, my butt stays completely on the bench. When I play this video, my butt will stay completely on the bench. It may be tempting for newer lifters to lift their butt off the bench because lifting your butt off the bench helps with generating momentum and therefore power to lift more weights. But to many more experienced lifters, it is considered an invalid and foul lift. Foul as in invalid, not as in like disgusting. Okay, so let me play the video, and one last thing before I go to the next clip. It's hard to notice, but when you play the video, notice how my bar path is. There's a common misconception that the bench bar path should be straight, like you go straight up and then straight down, but that's very false. Proper benching should have the bar going slightly diagonally up, like a V formation, almost like this. You should be trying to push the bar into the rack almost, because it helps lower the range of motion and it activates more of your muscle groups. And we can watch how this goes. And you can see here also a good example of quote-unquote marking my chest on the first rep. You can notice here how the bar path is not going straight up, but diagonally up, very slightly diagonally up. This last clip is just me messing around with my grip and how I was changing it. But if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing the video and the website. Thank you.